Guys, this is Nydra from Ghost Gamers. We're here at I am CeBIT Day 1, standing here with Socke. So, Socke, you're coming from a very strong I am Katowice performance. Do you feel that the power is still with you here at Hanover?
No, I don't think I can really say that. I mean, we're playing a different game. There's a totally different player pool. I mean, the format is the same, but everything else is different. So, can't really bring anything from there. I mean, maybe some confidence because it finally went well again lately, but not really.
Do you think the player pool is stronger than Katowice?
Overall, I think it is. Well, I mean, it's the final of all the IEM events so far, so all the best players from all the IEM stops before are coming here. But then again, it's a different game now, so being great at Wings of Liberty doesn't make you great at Hearts. So we have to see about it who can really keep up now and who can't.
Do you feel confident in your skill in Heart of the Swarm? You probably haven't played it for as long as Wings of Liberty, obviously, but are you getting acquainted with how Protoss works in Heart of the Swarm?
Yeah, I think I got a pretty good or basic understanding of how the matchup works. Maybe most efficient in PvP still, but yeah, I think I kind of know what to do, and I hope the other guys don't know more than I do. So maybe yeah, I think there's probably also some stuff I know which others don't. So I don't know. I should be fine. I feel fine.
How has each matchup changed in Heart of the Swarm? Like PvP, PvT, PvZ, what's the biggest difference? Like if you have to point one, for example, like what would it be for each matchup?
PvT has just gotten harder overall, I feel. I mean, we got the Nexus cannon, and the Oracle is kind of easily defended. And the Medivac speed boost, and the early Reaper scouting, and also Threat of Reapers, as well as the Water Mines, are all three major buffs to Terran. So yeah, I feel PvT has just gotten a lot harder. Still feels kind of the same gameplay-wise as in Wings of Liberty, but just a bit harder overall. PvZ, right now we have the strongest late game army, so the pressure is on to Zerg to get something done before it gets to the very late stage of the game. So that has kind of turned around. And PvP, Stargate has gotten a lot stronger, and also people still sometimes having a hard time to figure out how to expand or when to expand. I mean, there's expansion builds, but they are punishable. So oftentimes it's still 1 against 1 base where the game gets decided. And yeah, I hope over time PvP will become a better matchup again.
How impactful would you say is the Mothership core to the PvP? Because it was introduced as something to defend the early expansions of Protoss in mirrors, etc. Do you feel that this has changed the matchup a lot? Are there a lot more possibilities to get away with greedy builds? Because we know in Wings of Liberty you go Nexus first and you die most of the time if your opponent executes everything well. How has this changed in Heart of the Swarm?
I mean, the end Mothership core or the Nexus cannon is only DPS of one normal cannon, so it's not too huge. Actually, even on the offensive in PvP, like if you go towards the ramp and do a time bubble there or just attack uphill, Mothership core is also quite valuable. And then again, depending on what build you're using, you don't necessarily want to be spending those 100 gas and 100 minerals at such an early point in the game that it would allow you to use the Nexus cannon to defend your naturals. So it's changed a lot in all matchups. Like all our builds got changed out a bit. Like if you want to incorporate the Mothership core, the build is just different. And yeah, it's a change. Still getting used to it.
We talked to Kilaris just like a half an hour ago. He's been saying that he feels like Protoss is probably the most dominant race in Heart of the Swarm at the moment. He's been saying they just make Void Rays, and this makes PvZ unwinnable for Zerg, for example. PvT are a bit dark, shady area because we haven't seen a lot of them. But do you go with him with this? Like Protoss is a bit stronger than everybody else, Zerg is weakest.
I feel like Terran is the strongest race at the moment by far. I don't know too much about the CeBIT balance, but I heard lots of Zerg mining already. PvZ, there's still lots of routes which Zerg can try and go to. I mean, maybe they need to end the game early or get a huge lead. I mean, we had to do that for 2 years now, so maybe it's a bit too early to complain after a couple of weeks beta.
What is Heart of the Swarm giving to your style, and what is it taking away? Obviously, everybody likes to play the game differently. So, with the new units, what do you like most? What do you like least? What do you think it's most useful to you personally, not overall?
Well, it's hard to say. Right now, at least it feels like Protoss has a bit more of an active role on the map in general, so I like that. But can't really tell.
No particular unit that you like best?
No.
Just the role change?
Yeah.
So tomorrow you're playing against like a lot of tough opponents. There's Vortex, Newt, and Violet, Zergs, Mana as Protoss, and Sting as Terran. So let's start with the Zergs. It's obvious you will play 3 PvZs. How do you feel going into the matchup? Do you feel that you can basically abuse that PvZ is a bit towards the Protoss, is a bit Protoss favored to beat those guys? They've been like tearing a lot in Wings of Liberty. How is it in Heart of the Swarm?
I mean, it's definitely not as hard as it used to be in Wings of Liberty. Still, it's going to be tough matches. I think all people in my group are quite competent players. Still no idea how they dealt with the new units and the changes and the new maps. So can't really give an estimation on how it's going to go. But then again, they have no idea what I've been doing either. So yeah, it's just very hard to make predictions and calls at this point of the game.
So as we mentioned, Mana is in a group, and historically he's been like like a rival to you. You would meet often in Premier tournaments. Mana. He kind of, at least this is my impression, that you meet quite often. He beats you quite often. I'll be lying about the exact ratio of wins to losses, but to me it seems like he's always been there to eliminate you from Premier tournaments. Do you feel like there's a rivalry between you and Mana? Are you on the look for revenge now in CeBIT? Like, do you feel confident in your PvP that you can take him out? Have you played him before, etc., etc.?
I haven't played him before in Heart of the Swarm, but yeah, it's 2 Wings of Liberty. I lost him in a couple of important matches. From the top of my head, I can recall DreamHack Winter. I'm not sure about NSL. Maybe NSL playoffs or something online.
Something like this.
And also ESWC one time. And yeah, I think there was something else as well. But yeah, I mean, I want to make up for it. For that, I don't feel like I got a block against him or anything. I wouldn't really cover the rivalry, but I definitely want to beat him, and I think chances should be like 50-50, because yeah, can't make it bad, I guess.
So you won the Signet Bola hoodie in Poland. Kamak said on stage that you will get to design it yourself. Have you already designed it when we will see the hoodie, etc.? Because I think this is a precedent that a player designs his own hoodie. I think they usually just give it to him. Have you come up with design? How awesome it is, etc.?
Well, you're just gonna be able to see it tomorrow. I mean, don't expect too much, but yeah, you'll be able to have a look tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be waiting for this. So, overall predictions about the tournament: Koreans, foreigners. Who's the strongest? Who's the best out of the foreigners? Because obviously we don't know much about the Koreans because you haven't played them as much as the foreigners, I presume at least. So, from your colleagues outside South Korea, who do you think has the most chances standing against the Koreans?
Actually, in HOTS we only had one server, so all the continents were playing with each other. But then again, almost everybody used Smurf accounts. Yep. So even with the Europeans, I can't really tell who is how good. But still, overall, I think the Greens are the strongest players overall. especially the Terrans, because there's quite many strong Korean Terran players, especially compared to the other continents. So I think one of those is going to make it.
People think that Heart of the Swarm is basically it will get launched and it will level up the playing field a bit because it's a new game. Everybody will relearn it. So as I mentioned, we talked to Killarius. He said that people will still bring this Wings of Liberty skill, etc. So it will not be a complete leveling. What do you think about this? Do you think that, well, yeah, it's an entirely game, new people will just come and be good? For example, I could ask you about the Casper players. They are apparently getting huge achievements still in Wings of Liberty. Is this their chance to break up? Is this the chance for new foreigners to break out?
Well, I think the basic skill sets as far as micro, macro, game sense, decision making, nerfs, and stuff goes have remained the same. Strategy-wise, there's going to be some changes which people have to get used to. But even though there's like a small chance or an opportunity for a lesser known or lesser good player to like get up there, a player who was good in wall is still going to be good in HOTS, and someone who was bad in wall is probably still going to be bad in HOTS.
So one final question: what still needs to be fixed about Protoss, if anything? Of course, it's very early. We are out of beta, but we are not launched yet. Is there anything broken about Protoss, both in terms of bad, overpowered, underpowered, etc., that needs to be fixed before the game is live?
Actually, some things I noticed. If you use the time warp ability on a queen, there's some error with how it's calculated because it only takes away the off creep movement speed. Okay. So it's supposed to be slowed by 50%, but it only does like 10%. Another thing is with my graphic settings. If you have very low graphic settings and build upon on the low ground, it still it shows you that you're able to build and warp on high ground, which you actually can't. So that's a bit confusing. And with higher graphic settings, they've got it cut off, like it doesn't show on the high ground. So those were a couple of annoying things. Also with the ramp blockers, right now if you right click on them, you can start shooting. With the new supply deposit, that didn't used to be the case, and I think I also heard Lucifron lost one of the games together. Yeah, and that's an issue I've been having as well. Like especially in PvP, like oftentimes with stalkers, there's some tight situations, and then you start shooting the rocks there, and you lose the game because of that. Yeah. So it's kind of silly. So yeah, those are a couple of complaints or things I would fix.
You've got the man, fix it, guys. So
nothing. The idle worker button is like. Not visible at all, like on the bottom left. Yep. Like they did a big design change, and now you don't notice if something shows there. So, yeah.
So get it fixed. You heard it from Socke. So this was Nydra from Ghost Gamers with Socke. We'll bring you more coverage as CeBIT goes along. So stay tuned. Thanks.